This is Module 2, the structure. In Module 1, we made the case for why discovery needs to change, the paradox, the electricity insight, the architecture of the whole framework. This module takes the first of the two foundational layers, the structured process, and gives it a shape you can hold. The job of this module is orientation and a little relief. By the end, you will know the 5 stages of discovery and the question each one exists to answer. You will understand what holds them together, and you will feel that the structure is there to serve your learning, not to make you fill in forms. Let's begin where we always will in this course, with what you already know. Module 1 named the framework's architecture, a human foundation beneath 2 foundational layers with an optional accelerator above. Recall the 2 foundational layers, structured process and the judgment layer. What does each one contribute that the other cannot? Picture the architecture map, the foundation, the 2 layers, the dimmed accelerator at the top. The answer to that question is the reason the whole framework is built the way it is. In Module 1, we ended on a sentence worth carrying forward. Structure without judgment is empty ritual. That was a warning. This module is about the other half of the same sentence, the structure itself, and the warning still holds. There are 2 ways discovery goes wrong, and they are opposites. Discovery without structure is expensive wandering, motion in every direction, effort that never compounds, a team busy and lost at the same time. Discovery without judgment is empty ritual. Every box ticked, every document filed, every step performed, and nothing real connecting any of it to a decision. Module 2 is about the structure half, but keep both failure modes in view, because a structure built without judgment lands you straight in the second one. So why structure at all? Not for its own sake, structure earns its place by what it makes possible. There are 4 things here. Repeatable. The work has the same shape every cycle, so you are not reinventing your process under deadline pressure every single time. Visible. The work and the reasoning behind it can be seen by others, not locked in one person's head where no one can check it or build on it. Improvable. A process you have defined is a process you can measure, compare, and sharpen. You cannot improve something you cannot see. And coordinated, everyone knows where they are, what comes next, and who is responsible for what. 4 properties. Hold them, there is a 5th, but it has to be earned a little later, and earning it is part of the point. Here is the whole of Layer 1 before we look at any single part of it. 5 stages, in sequence, each one existing to answer a single clear question. We are staying at the level of the map today, naming the stages and their questions, not the activities inside them. Those come in the modules ahead. Stage 0, Initiation, asks, is this worth exploring? Stage 1, Problem Discovery, asks, what is the real problem? Stage 2, Solution Design, again asks, what could we build? Stage 3, Validation, asks, does the evidence support building this? And Stage 4, Handoff, asks, how do we set up delivery for success? 5 questions, moving from a raw signal all the way to a clean handoff to delivery. Notice the map. The stages do not float separately. There are connectors running between them and decision points sitting at the seams. Those 2 things, the connectors and the decision points, are what turn 5 separate activities into one reliable process. They are where we go next. Look at what links the stages. Each stage's outputs become the next stage's inputs. This is what makes discovery cumulative rather than episodic. That word, cumulative, is the 5th property I asked you to hold, and now you can see why it had to wait. The other 4 come from having a defined process at all. This one comes from the chain. Without it, every stage starts from a blank page and the learning from the last cycle evaporates. With it, the work accretes. What you learned doesn't just inform the next step, it becomes the raw material for it. Take feed loop. The signal evidence they gathered and the first rough draft of the job their customers were trying to do, those weren't filed away. They became the starting point of the next stage. That is the chain doing its job, learning that compounds instead of resetting. Between the stages sit gates. A gate is a moment of explicit judgment, a real decision, not a checkpoint you wave through. And a genuine decision has more than one legitimate answer. There are 4: proceed, pivot, iterate, and stop. I want to be precise about stop, because it is the one that gets misread. Stop is the process working, not the process failing. A gate that can only ever say proceed is not a gate, it is a rubber stamp. Deciding not to build something on the strength of what you have learned is one of the most valuable things discovery can do. Now, why must gates be explicit rather than informal? Because the sunk cost pull toward proceed and the political pressure to continue are predictable human patterns that informal check-ins cannot reliably resist. These are predictable human patterns. They sit in the human foundation beneath every discovery stage. Feed loop meets gate 1 here, the churn signal, and we will watch how the gate works as the course goes on. Stages and gates are the temporal structure of discovery, the sequence and decision moments. But who is doing the work at each stage, and whether all 3 ways of seeing are present, that is a different question. That is the coverage question. The 3 perspectives are product, design, and engineering, 3 genuinely different ways of seeing the same discovery question. Coverage means all 3 are present. Coverage is non-negotiable for a specific reason. Discovery failures frequently happen at the boundaries between perspectives, the blind spots where one way of seeing assumed another was watching and none of them was. What does adapt is configuration. On a large team, 3 people or 3 groups. Working solo, 1 person deliberately moving between all 3 lenses. The number of people flexes. The 3 perspectives do not. You now have the shape of layer 1, 5 stages, a chain that makes the work cumulative, gates that make the decisions explicit, and 3 perspectives that have to be covered however your team is configured. If you want to go deeper on any of it as we go, the framework guide is the companion that holds the detail. This is the first of many times I will point you to it. Where do build decisions actually get made? As explicit moments with evidence, or do they just happen? The structure only matters if real decisions live inside it. Next, Module 3, the North Star.